Welcome to the Deep Dive. We do the digging so you get the gems.
That's the idea.
And today we're looking at a whole bunch of English phrases.
Hmm.
You know, the common ones, the colorful ones.
Yeah, the kind you hear all the time but maybe don't think about too much.
Exactly. We found this great video from Talk Fluent English on YouTube that breaks a lot of them down.
Right. And our mission today is sort of unpack those, look at the stories behind them.
Yeah, get those aha moments without, wading through hours of research. If you're curious and want the interesting bits fast, this is for you.
It really is amazing how much history and, well, strangeness is packed into everyday language.
Totally. Like, okay, first one, break a leg.
Ah, the classic.
We say it for good luck, right?
Right.
Like before someone goes on stage.
Yeah, especially in the theater world.
But why? It sounds like the opposite of good luck.
It does. And that's kind of the point, believe it or not. It's basically an old superstition.
A superstition.
Yeah, in theater, saying the words good luck was thought to actually bring bad luck, like you were tempting fate or something.
Huh, weird.
So break a leg became the coded way, the sort of reverse psychology way, to wish someone well without jinxing them.
That is genuinely strange. So it's like this cultural habit born out of fear.
Kind of, yeah. It reflects how sometimes we, maybe hedge our bets even with simple wishes. Bit odd, isn't it?
Definitely odd. Okay, what about the ball is in your court?
Right. That one feels a bit more straightforward.
Yeah, like it's your turn, make a decision, choose the restaurant already.
Huh. Yes, exactly. The link to tennis or similar sports is pretty clear.
So the ball comes over the net to you.
And the game stops. Everyone's waiting for you to act. It's not just whose turn it is. It's about the responsibility shifting.
Ah, okay. So there's a bit of pressure implied.
There is, yeah. You can't just hold on to the ball forever. Someone needs to make the next move for things to progress.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. Spill the beans. Revealing a secret.
Yes. And did you ever wonder about the beans?
I always just pictured someone being clumsy. Is it literal?
It might be. One really popular theory connects it back to ancient Greece.
Grease. Beans.
Yeah. Apparently they used beans for voting in some secret societies or councils, maybe different colored beans for yes or no.
Yeah.
So if you accidentally knocked over the container and spilled the beans before the count, well, you'd reveal the secret vote prematurely.
Wow. So a simple mistake could blow the whole thing.
Exactly. Kind of a neat metaphor for how easily secrets can slip out, right?
Right.
Even unintentionally.
Yeah, that's a great image. Okay, bite the bullet. This one sounds unpleasant.
Well, it is. It means, facing something really difficult or painful with courage.
Stoicism.
And the origin. Please don't say people actually bit bullets.
Ah, well,
Yeah.
sorry. That's exactly the most common theory.
Seriously.
Yeah, think back to like the 19th century, battlefield surgery, no real anesthetic or not effective stuff anyway.
So soldiers were apparently given a lead bullet to literally bite down on, to, try and cope with the agony, to endure it.
Jeez, that's incredibly grim. But it really drives home the meaning, doesn't it? Real hardship.
It absolutely does. It connects the phrase to intense suffering and, well, the grit needed to get through it. Powerful stuff.
Definitely. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Under the weather. Feeling ill.
Yeah, a much gentler one.
Where does that come from?
This one's from the sea. Sailing.
Sailing.
Yeah. When a sailor felt seasick or just generally unwell, especially in rough seas or bad weather, they'd often go below deck.
Ah, to get out of the storm.
Exactly. They were literally getting under the worst of the weather that was happening up on deck.
That's actually quite a nice image. Like seeking shelter when you feel bad. A personal storm.
It is, isn't it? Nicer than just saying, I feel sick.
Yeah, okay, now. Oh,
Ugh.
kick the bucket.
Right. The blunt one for, dying.
Yeah. It feels a bit casual, almost harsh. Where does that come from?
Well, the origin isn't totally certain, but one pretty common theory is quite dark.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
Possibly. This one might link to slaughterhouses.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The idea is that an animal, after being dispatched, might be hung upside down from a beam or structure, sometimes called a bucket, by its feet. And in its final moments, its legs might thrash or kick that bucket.
Okay, that's pretty stark.
It is. It's a reminder that language can carry these, raw echoes from the past, from realities that were maybe less hidden away than they are now.
Definitely gives you pause.
Yeah.
Right, maybe something lighter. Let the cat out of the bag.
Yes. Another secret revealing one. Seems we have trouble keeping secrets quiet.
Huh. Apparently.
Mhm.
So cats and bags, is this another literal one?
This one's thought to be, yeah, it supposedly comes from old marketplaces.
Okay.
Picture this. A farmer is selling piglets, which were valuable. A dishonest seller might try to trick a buyer by putting a less valuable cat in the bag instead of a piglet. Yep. But if the buyer insisted on looking, or if the cat managed to, well, get out of the bag.
The scam is revealed. The secret's out.
Exactly. The cat's out of the bag. It's got that element of accidental exposure, of trickery gone wrong.
That's brilliant. I like that one. Okay, beat around the bush, avoiding the main point.
Right. This one feels intuitive, but the image is from hunting again.
Hunting. How so?
Well, imagine hunters trying to flush out game birds hiding in bushes or thickets. They wouldn't just charge straight in, right? That might scare everything off.
Okay, makes sense.
Instead, they'd literally beat the bushes around the area where they thought the birds were to try and make them fly out into the open. So it's an indirect approach.
Ah, so you're avoiding the direct confrontation, just poking around the edges, like trying to tell someone bad news gently.
Precisely. All that preamble before you get to the actual point, that hesitation.
Which, naturally, brings us to the opposite.
Yeah.
Cut to the chase.
The perfect antidote, yes. Get straight to the important part. Skip the fluff.
Yeah, like, stop beating around the bush and cut to the chase.
Exactly. It's about wanting the core information, the resolution, the juicy bit, without all the setup. Efficiency.
Love it. Okay, hit the nail on the head.
Meaning you got something exactly right, perfectly accurate.
This one feels very visual, very satisfying, like a perfect hammer swing.
And that's exactly where it comes from. Carpentry.
Ah.
Hitting the nail squarely, driving it in perfectly, it translates so well to getting an idea or an explanation just right, that feeling of precision.
Yeah, the click of understanding.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, a dime a dozen. Something common, cheap.
Right. Very common, not particularly special or valuable.
And the dime, it's that literal too?
It seems so, yeah. This phrase really took off probably late 1800s, early 1900s.
Okay.
Back then, a dime, 10 cents, could actually buy you quite a lot of certain small, common items. You know, maybe a dozen eggs at some point, or lots of buttons, or certain cheap goods.
So things were literally sold, like 12 for a dime.
Or just generally very cheap and plentiful for that price, yeah. So if something was a dime a dozen, it meant it was super common, easy to get, nothing special. It reflects the economy of the time.
Fascinating how money value gets baked into language.
Okay.
Okay, a classic piece of advice. Don't judge a book by its cover.
So important. It means, of course, don't just look at the outside.
Right. Don't form an opinion based only on appearance. Look deeper.
Exactly. Whether it's a person, a thing, an idea, there's often more going on beneath the surface. Inner value matters more.
Crucial reminder. Then there's go the extra mile.
Putting in more effort than expected.
Not literally running a mile longer, usually.
No, usually not. It's about exceeding the basic requirement, doing more than you have to, showing extra care or dedication.
Right, that willingness to put in just a bit more effort for a colleague, a customer, a friend.
Exactly. It signals commitment.
And then the lovely phrase, piece of cake.
Ah, yes. Meaning something is really easy.
Super easy. Effortless.
Yeah. As easy and pleasant as, well, eating a piece of cake. Simple, enjoyable, no trouble at all.
Perfect comparison. Okay, take it with a grain of salt. Be skeptical.
That's the one. Don't just accept something as absolute fact. Be a little cautious.
Where does the salt come in?
This one's interesting. The origin might go way back to ancient Rome, actually. Pliny the Elder wrote about an antidote to poison that included a grain of salt.
Really? Just one grain?
Well, the idea might have evolved, but it relates to adding something small to counteract something potentially harmful or untrue. Or maybe like making something bitter more palatable, you add salt to food, you add skepticism to potentially false information.
Huh. So it's like, temper your acceptance, don't swallow it whole.
Exactly. A healthy dose of critical thinking. Trust but verify, maybe.
Got it. Okay, how about something impossible? When pigs fly.
Yes. Yes. The ultimate image of impossibility.
It's so wonderfully absurd, you just picture it.
You do. It's a humorous, really exaggerated way to say that will absolutely never happen.
Will I ever enjoy cleaning the house? Sure, when pigs fly.
Exactly. Perfect use. It just emphasizes the complete unlikelihood.
Okay, nearly there. Barking up the wrong tree.
Meaning you're mistaken, you're pursuing the wrong lead, or asking the wrong person.
This sounds like another hunting one. Dogs, maybe?
You got it. Hunting dogs, specifically.
Okay.
Imagine a dog chasing, say, a raccoon or a squirrel. The animal climbs a tree, maybe jumps to another tree and escapes, but the dog, focused on the scent, stays at the first tree, barking furiously.
Oh, but the prey isn't there anymore.
Precisely. The dog is making a lot of noise and effort, but it's directed at the wrong place. It's barking up the wrong tree.
So like asking your math teacher for help with French homework.
Perfect example.
Okay.
Misdirected effort, wrong source.
Makes total sense. And finally, a lovely one to end on cloud 9.
Pure happiness, elation.
It sounds so floaty and wonderful.
It really does. Just extreme joy, feeling utterly blissful and carefree, like you're literally floating on a fluffy cloud. Number 9, for some reason, became the highest one in some old classification systems, maybe. The details are fuzzy, but the feeling is clear.
Cloud 9. Sounds like a good place to be. Hopefully everyone listening feels a little closer to it after unpacking all these phrases.
Maybe. It definitely adds, a bit of richness to understand where this everyday stuff comes from.
Well, that was quite the journey, wasn't it? Through all these bits of English.
It really was. It's amazing how much story is hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, history, culture, weird superstitions, hunting mishaps. It's all in there. We hope you, the learner, had a few of those aha moments.
Maybe see the language you use every day in a slightly different light now.
Absolutely. Maybe you'll catch yourself using one and think about, clumsy Greeks spilling beans or soldiers biting bullets.
It definitely makes conversation a bit more textured, I think.
So maybe next time you hear a phrase, pause for a second. Wonder about its story. And that leads to our final thought for you. How does knowing this history, these origins, actually change how you feel about these phrases? Does it make you want to use them differently? Or maybe listen more closely?
Yeah, and what other simple, everyday words or phrases out there might have equally surprising, complex stories just waiting? It's a huge, fascinating world within our own language.
Definitely something to think about.